The first time you heard it, it was barely a whisper under the noise of the shower. You had just come home late, exhausted, more annoyed than afraid. The apartment was small, one bedroom, barely furnished, the kind of place where every sound had an echo and every creak had an excuse. You turned on the water, stepped into the steam, and let the heat burn the day off your skin. That was when you thought you heard it. A faint, broken syllable, like someone trying to speak through a wall of water. You froze, the soap still in your hands. The pipes groaned above you. The water hissed. Outside the bathroom, the old fridge hummed with a tired, rattling buzz. You told yourself it was just the pipes. Old buildings made noise, steam, metal, expansion, whatever. You finished your shower without listening too hard. You didn't sleep well that night. 3 days later, you heard it again. This time, you were lying in bed in the dark, your phone screen the only light. You'd turned off the lamp 20 minutes ago, but sleep wouldn't come. The glow of pointless scrolling painted your face in cold blue. You were half reading the same line of text over and over when the sound slipped into the edges of your awareness. So faint you weren't sure if it was real or imagined. A thin breath, a scrape. Then, from somewhere in the apartment, too close to be the neighbors, too far to be the building settling, you heard a soft sound. You held your breath. The fridge hummed. A car passed outside, its headlights cutting briefly across your ceiling. No footsteps, no doors, nothing. You turned your phone volume off, just in case it was some ad glitching in the background. Silence swelled. You waited. Nothing. When you finally put the phone down, you left it face up as if the screen could somehow protect you. The next night, you heard more. You had your headphones in, watching a show. The volume low, but enough to drown the usual sounds of the old building. It was raining outside, a steady, claustrophobic patter against the windows. In one scene, a character whispered something. You didn't catch it. You rewound a few seconds, listening closer. That was when you realized the whisper you heard wasn't from the show. It was behind you. You paused the video. The audio cut off so sharply that the silence felt like a drop into cold water. You sat perfectly still. Slowly, you took off your headphones. The sound wasn't there anymore. The apartment was quiet, except for the rain and that tired fridge wheezing in the kitchen. You didn't look behind you. You slept with the light on that night. Days passed. You pretended not to notice that you were listening harder. Now walking in from work, you would stand for a moment in the doorway, key still in the lock, and just wait. You stopped running the bathroom fan because it masked sounds too well. You started keeping the TV volume low. You turned your phone's notification sounds off, as if each new silence might help you hear it better. Part of you hoped you wouldn't. Part of you wanted it to try again, if only so you could prove to yourself it was real. It came back a week later. You were washing dishes, hands sunk in warm, greasy water, plate, sponge, rinse, stack, barely thinking. The window over the sink showed only your own reflection in the black glass and the faint glow of other apartments in the distance. At first, you thought it was the wind slipping through a crack. Then you realized the window was closed. You dropped the plate. It hit the sink with a violent clatter but didn't break. Your heart slammed against your ribs like it wanted to escape. Water ran over your hands. The tap hissed. You didn't move. It had been clearer this time. 2 sounds to pieces, both from somewhere behind you, in the apartment, in that narrow, invisible space just out of sight. You turned slowly. Your living room was empty. Couch, small table, TV on its cheap stand. No shadows where they shouldn't be. No shapes that were not furniture. But you realized something you hadn't noticed before. Whatever this thing was, whatever made that sound, it was trying to say something. It was trying to say you. You didn't wash the rest of the dishes. You dried your hands, went straight to your bedroom and closed the door. Locked it, even though that felt childish. Even though it was probably nothing. Even though you told yourself that, if it was something, a cheap lock wouldn't stop it. You slept sitting up, your back to the wall, your eyes on the gap at the bottom of the door. You woke the next morning with your neck screaming and your eyes burning, but the door was still closed. The apartment was still. Nothing had changed. Except you. You left the TV on when you went to work that day. Noise filled the space behind you as you locked the door. As if sound could keep something from learning your name. You told no one. What would you say? My apartment is trying to talk. It keeps almost saying my name. You stopped inviting people over. You stopped staying out late. You started coming home earlier, listening, waiting, dreading. The next time it happened at 3:12 a.m. You knew the time because you woke up with your heart beating too fast, your body convinced that something has already happened and your mind scrambling to catch up. You were lying on your back, staring at the ceiling. The room was dark, but you could see the vague outlines of your furniture. Your phone lay face down on the nightstand, a small, rectangular silence. You hadn't heard anything yet, but you felt it. The way you feel when someone is watching you from a doorway. The way air changes when another presence is in the room, even if you can't see them. The way your body knows before your mind admits it. You kept your breathing slow, pretending to still be asleep. Something in the apartment shifted, a tiny, nearly soundless drag, like cloth against the floor. Your mouth went dry. You stared at the ceiling and did not move. From the other side of your bedroom door, so soft it might have been in your head, you heard it again. A-N-A. 3 sounds now. 3 pieces. Anna. You had never told the apartment your name. You lived alone. No one shouted for you from the hallway. You didn't get packages often, and when you did, the delivery people left them downstairs. You didn't talk to the neighbors. You hadn't had company for weeks. You'd never said your own name in here out loud. You realized, with a sensation like falling, that whatever was on the other side of that door hadn't heard it. It had learned it, piece by piece, from dropped words in your phone calls, maybe, from the way your email chimed and displayed your name across your laptop screen, from muffled introductions through thin walls, from something else you didn't want to think about. You lay there, heart pounding so loudly you were sure it could hear that too, while the thing that lived in the quiet places of your apartment stood just outside your door, testing the shape of your name. A-N-A. Your eyes stung with tears. You refused to blink away. You did not want it to finish. Stars of light burst in the corners of your vision from staring too hard at the ceiling. The voice, if you could call it that, went silent again. Minutes passed, or hours. Time felt thin and fragile. At some point, exhaustion dragged you under. You woke up to daylight, the world bright and indifferent. Your phone showed no missed calls, no strange messages. The apartment looked exactly the same as always. The bedroom door stood half open now. You didn't remember opening it. You told yourself, again, that it had been a dream. You lasted 4 days before you started talking to yourself on purpose. You waited until evening, when the apartment felt most like a box, and the hallway outside your door was starting to fill with other people's footsteps, voices, keys in locks. You stood in the middle of your living room, hands shaking. Anna, you said, out loud. Your name sounded small and brittle against the walls. Anna, you repeated, forcing your voice steadier. My name is Anna. You waited. Nothing. You laughed once, a short, ugly burst of sound that didn't feel like it belonged to you. See, you told yourself, you're losing it. That's all. You're just from behind you. Near the bathroom, something whispered, Anna, clear this time, perfect, as if it had been practicing. You did not turn around. Your skin crawled. Your knees trembled. Your throat felt like it was closing. Instead, you walked slowly, carefully toward the front door. Every step felt like moving through wet cement. The air behind you was too heavy, too focused, too aware. It said your name again. Closer. Anna. The door was only a few feet away. He reached for the lock with numb fingers. The voice came right behind your left ear. This time, warm breath did not touch your skin. No weight sank the floorboards, but it was there. Anna. You realized then that it had never needed you to tell it your name. It had called you, piece by piece, until you confirmed it. It had made you repeat your own name into the air it lived in. It had made you teach it. You wrenched the door open, stepped into the hallway, and slammed it shut behind you so hard the frame rattled. Your neighbors' doors stayed closed. Nobody looked out to see what was wrong. The building hummed its old, tired noise around you, as if nothing had happened. You didn't go back inside that night. You sat on the stairs, your back against the wall, listening to other people's lives happening behind their doors. Laughter, a TV, someone cooking, a baby crying, normal sounds, safe sounds, safe sounds. It was almost enough to convince you that you could go back in the morning, grab your things, and move out. You told yourself you'd find a new place, even if it was worse, smaller, noisier. You didn't care. You just had to get through one more night. You must have fallen asleep on the stairs. Your neck hurt. Your legs were numb when you woke. The hallway was quiet again. Pale morning light seeped through the small window at the end of the corridor. Your apartment door stood in front of you, closed, ordinary, innocent. Your key felt heavy in your hand. You unlocked the door. The apartment greeted you with silence, the stale smell of old coffee, and the faint metallic temps of dust and pipes. Nothing looked different. You took 3 steps inside, heart pounding, ready to grab your phone, your wallet, whatever you could carry. The door shut behind you with a soft click. You had not touched it. You turned slowly. The door was closed. The lock was still turned to the open position. No one stood behind it. The apartment seemed to lean in around you. Then, it said your name again. Anna, not from behind you, not from the bathroom, not from the hall, from everywhere. The sound came from the walls, the floor, the ceiling, the narrow space under the furniture, the hollow inside the closet, the dark under the bed, like it had soaked your name into every surface while you were gone. You felt it press against your skin, wrap around your lungs, slide into your ears. Anna, it said, almost tender now, as if it was relieved, as if calling you by your name meant that, finally, you belonged to it completely. You squeezed your eyes shut. When you open them, you tell yourself, I'll be awake, I'll be somewhere else. It will be over. You opened them. You were still in your small apartment, and something in the silence was still smiling when it said, Welcome home, Anna.